So this EdTech Bites is going to be just a quick little overview of some of my favorite Google Keep note-taking ninja hacks here. What I have for you it's going to be put in the YouTube description is a link here to this lovely little slide deck, and it has access and basic functions, organizing your notes, and then more about ninja note-taking. So the first thing we are going to talk about is getting access to a Keep really quick. So I like to create a new Google Keep, and if you're not super familiar with Google Keep, what Google Keep is a note-taking app that is provided by Google, and it has all of these different Keep notes. Now, in general, what you can do, you might want to just start with your Google Drive and then go to this waffle and then scroll down and then try and find your Keep. But what I like to do is, like most Google tools, is if you type in keep.new, it will pop up a brand new Keep note. Since I want to take very quick notes, this is a great hack for me that I can hop into Google Keep very quickly. So I'm going to just create an overall note. A lot of people use this as a grocery list, so we'll just start there. Now here on the bottom, and I'll go over some of these different ones later, but you can undo what you just did, and then there are 3 dots for a more menu. One of the things that I use often is checkboxes. So you can either make a list of things like a note, or you can add checkboxes. And what that will do is it'll allow you to check off different items once they are complete. In the Google Keep dashboard, there's a couple of different spaces. So here on this particular note, you'll notice that there is a pin icon. When you pin a note and you close out of that note, it's going to put it here in this pin space. So these are my most popular notes up here, and then down on the bottom are others. That's where the other pins go. Now on the side here, you have archiving notes, which are ones that have been archived over time. And to do that, you just open up a note and then you select archive. The archived notes don't go away. They're all here in this same space. But I'm going to go back to my note space real quick. Now, one of my Google Keep hacks is you can archive and pin multiple notes at one time. You can hover over them and you're going to notice a check show up. You can click on those checkboxes to select multiple notes, and then a new taskbar is going to show up here. You can pin or unpin a whole bunch of different notes, and here is where you can archive a whole bunch of notes all at once. So multiple pin and multiple archive are in that slide deck. Now in this Google Keep note space, there are a couple of different view options. So here in Google Keep, I like to keep my Keep as dark mode, but if you go up here to settings, you can keep it as a light mode with a white background, or you can choose to have it as a dark mode. You can also go up here and choose to either have a list view or to have a grid view. So now let's talk about a few different ways that you can organize your notes. So first of all is you can create labels for your notes. Much like Gmail, you can have a label where you tag certain notes. Now, unlike Gmail, you cannot change the color or change different styles within the labels. If I go in here to my grocery list, I can go to these 3 dots and then I can add a label. So let's say I want to have a label for groceries. That label is going to show up here. It's going to show up as a little tag on the note itself. And then here on the side, when I click that label, all of the notes that have that label are going to show up. Now, it usually keeps all of your labels in alphabetical order. If you have ones that are more important to you or notes that you get to often, go here to edit labels, and you can edit the name of a label and add a number in front of it. And then those labels will be the top labels. Now, much like archiving multiple notes, you can also select multiple notes, go up to that taskbar, hit the 3 buttons, and then add a label to multiple notes at once. Now, since Keep is a Google tool, you can share notes with others where they can collaborate with you. So here in Google Keep, if I want to share this note with someone, you can select their name from a list and then hit save, and now that person can collaborate on the note with you. Now, I had previously brought up checklists, but this is one of my more note-taking ninja tips and tricks, is to create nested items in checklist format. So over here, let's say in my cute little mini grocery list, I want to have food separated by dairy, and I want to have milk and eggs underneath dairy. What you can do is you can take this little bar here on the side of a checklist item and drag it underneath another checklist item. You can check these off still individually, but what I really like about this feature, which some people don't know about, is that if you have a nested checklist item, you can do the overall header item and it will check off all of those different things. Also, if you have a checklist that you reuse often, you can uncheck that whole entire section and it will put it back into the active section. Now, if you're like me, I pretty much color code everything. So you can add background colors to a Google Keep note. There are a whole bunch of different options and they do have names. Now, here's my ninja trick for you is think about creating categories based on colors because you can search by color in the search bar. Let's go back to Keep. And here I can go to this background option. And these are all of the different colors. So if you notice, I hover over them. They have names. That's important here in a minute. You can even change the background to be a specific image. So that one looks pretty good for a grocery list. And that makes it a little bit easier to see. Now, when I go here to search, there are so many different ways that you can search within Google Keep. But if I go down here to colors and I select more, there are a lot of different colors down here that I can choose from. And any of the notes that have that same color are going to show up. Which brings me to my next way that I love to organize Keep notes, and that's by adding headers. Now, the way that you add headers to a Google Keep note is just by adding images. When you add an image to a Keep note, it puts that image at the top of the note, which can essentially function like a header. So if you look here in my Google Keep notes, I have a lot of them. So even though these are the same colors, I have sort of a mini heading and a different picture. And what I have for you, if you click on this link, it's going to open up a Canva template, which has light mode keep headers. So if you wanted that light mode option, all of these different colors are going to match. And if you scroll down further into this template, there's also dark mode options. Now, I do have Bitmojis here as images, so you can feel free to add your own Bitmojis, and you can go here and change the text and then change this subheading here if you like. Now, my colleague had mentioned that I thought I looked all festive and cute and springy, and ended up where she asked me why I was wearing men's underwear. So now I just keep it on there as kind of a running gag, but now everyone's gonna know. But if you want to have a specific header, what you do is you go to Share, you select Download, and once that's downloaded for you, you're gonna go back to your Google Keep notes. We'll keep going along with our grocery list one. And you go here to add image. You can pick that image, should be the correct size and heading, and there you have that heading. I'm going to go here to background to options and change it back to that same color, and now that's going to match. So now let's talk about some of the other little tips and tricks that I would like to show you. First of all, was going back to that searching option is here in Google Keep. You can go here and search by so many different options. What I like is that you can actually search for anything that says movies or even by places, and you'll see all of those notes that have that information, people you've shared them with, and as previously stated, colors. Now in Google, we have been talking about adding images for headers, but you don't have to add images and use them as headers. You can actually add a variety of different images in a Keep note. Now I have a note here in my Keep notes, and I've scanned the front and back of my business card. And what I wanted to show you is that if you have clear text in an image, that's not even a great image, but if you have clear text within an image, Google Keep will allow you to search an image with text in it. Now, going along with adding images into a Google Keep, You can click on the image, it will open it, and then you can select an annotation tool. So you can annotate on top of an image. I'm going to go back to my notes, go down here to an image of a calendar. If you click on this image, it will open up these drawing tools, and you're able to select a variety of annotation tools, and you can select certain things on that image. I use this often for my husband because even though I send him something to get or do, I have to point out it's like right there. Also, with adding images to a Google Keep is Google Keep's ability to take an image with any type of text on it. So you can take pictures of schedules, or you can take pictures of handwritten notes. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my notes, and I'm going to click on this note that has text, and you go here to these three dots, and you go to grab image text. When you select grab image text, it's going to pull any of the text that is inside that image and write it down here on the bottom part of the note. In Google Keep, you can save websites, but I wanted to show you sort of a ninja trick to go into your settings and make those URLs show up a little bit better in your Keep notes. So I'm going back to my notes, and I have a website here. So I'm just picking our APS website. Now what this normally looks like is just this URL link, but I like it to have this little sort of thumbnail and activated link in it. To get that, go to the settings button, and then make sure you select display rich link previews. So if I turn that off, you're going to notice it just looks like a link. But if I go back really quick and turn that on, that's where you get those specific hyperlinked images. In Google Meet on your phone, it has to be the phone app. You're going to open Keep, and you're going to notice that there's an extra option here, which is the microphone. In Google Keep, and I'm just going to show you an example, you can talk and record your voice as a voice note. It will transcribe that entire note on the Keep note as well. I'm basically wrapping up, so I've just got a couple more options to show you. And one of those is add keeps to other Google tools. So this works in things like Gmail, this works in Calendar. I use it in Calendar more often. So I'm gonna go here to my Google Calendar. And if you notice here in Calendar, there is a keep option here on the bar on the right. And if I select a specific event and I have that event open, I can go up here and select take a note, and it's going to link directly to that calendar invite. Email from our session today. It will save that for me, still now in my Keep notes, but now I can click on that link and it'll go directly to that calendar invitation. So going along with Google Calendar, you can add location and reminders within a note. So let's say I wanted to go to a specific grocery store. I can go to a place, and it will save that location for me. And now that location will also be searchable, and I can add a reminder about a specific day or time that this task needs to be completed. Now, one of the things I also like to do is create templates. And what I mean by that is here I have a blank daily task note, but I also have one up here, and that's because I don't change my daily tasks too much. If I want to keep this as a general template and change it just a little bit moving forward, I can go to these three dots, make a copy of that note, and now you have a template version you can have, as well as one that will now be editable. Those reminders will also tie in and work in conjunction with your Google Calendar. And finally, as you just saw on our note that I was showing you, I like to add emojis to a few notes. I usually keep that in that like overall heading category. So for example, in this one, I have some presentations that I'm working on editing, and so I have them categorized with an overall emoji on each section so I can quickly tell which one I am working on. Those are all of my really quick tips and tricks for you, and hopefully now you have some ideas on how to become a note-taking ninja.